Well, hello, this is Yvonne Teoh Bource from Connect to Soul with Your Soul Wisdom. And I'm recording this on December the 31st, 2018, the last day of this wonderful year that we've just had. And I say wonderful because we've had it. You know, it always amuses me how people want to get rid of a year. They want to obliterate it somehow and are ready to start again. And there's an interesting energy about on this day as we get closer and closer to midnight, wherever. So I'm in Australia, so we do it first. You know, we're the first ones on the planet to get to midnight. So I'm in a hurry. No, I'm not at all. But it's like people just want to forget the year and want to get on with a new one. And I've never really felt that way, and I think that it is something that we need to change in our mindset. So today I spend reflecting on all the wonderful things I've experienced throughout the year, all the things that I have achieved that I set out to achieve on the 1st of January 2018, and I'll talk about that a little bit more in a moment. And then I have this intense gratitude for having been able to meet whatever challenges that came across my path that I have grown from and have become more of. I spend it in gratitude for all the beautiful people that I have connected with throughout the year, all the beautiful people who have come to my classes and who continue to come and help me grow as I help them grow. So for me, the last day of the year is always filled with a lot of joy and a lot of reflection, a lot of intent for the following year. Now, of course, the thing to remember is that there is actually no last year and there is no future year. There is only now. At the moment in Book Club, of course, we are revisiting Eckhart Tolle's The Power of Now. And it is so important for us to remember that there is absolutely nothing that we can experience in this life anywhere else but in the now, this moment, and another one gone. You know I can do this, and it makes my fingers hurt. So it's really important, and you might notice that I'm in a different place. Well, I'm actually not in a different place. I'm still in my office. But one of the things that I do on the last day of the year usually is to reconfigure my room. Now, there are only 4 walls in this room, and one of the walls I can't put anything against because it has a cupboard and it's got a filing cabinet and all of those things. And so I've only got 3 walls really that I can play with. So I have put my desk in a different place, and therefore you are seeing a different background, and I quite like it. Now the garden is really out here, but I have put the blind down because that part of the garden isn't the prettiest, and so I would prefer you to have something that doesn't distract. So let's look at that. So I've got my office ready for a new slate. One of the great things I think that happens at the end of a year, and I've talked about it before, is this surge of energy. You know, like you've got a whole clean slate to do with as you please. Well, the funny thing is that every moment is a whole new clean slate to do with as you wish. It's just because we are so conditioned to understanding, we've got another year. No, we have another moment. And if we can really get into that understanding in our mind that in every moment we are free to make the choice to do whatever we wish to do. Yes, I know there are the have-tos. Well, I actually don't do too many have-tos. Interestingly enough, I intended to do this recording earlier this morning. But when I came to sit down, on the other side of my fence is a young family lives, and they have a swimming pool, and of course it's summer here. And so when I went to sit down, there was much joy going on behind the fence, which probably would not have been a good background noise. Now, the past me would have got irritated and go, why can't, because then I can't control the situation. One of the things I've learned in my life is that I can't control any situation. The only thing that I can control is me in relationship to the situation. So I decided, well, that's fine, they're having fun. I'm going to do something else. I'm going to spend my time doing other things that are on my list, because I'm a list girl. I've got lists. And I'm preparing for my workshop tomorrow, because I do a workshop every 1st of January with people who we gather together and we prepare ourselves for our guides of intent. So I set my intent, as you may or may not know. Every morning I have my intent for the day. But on the 1st of January, I have created a process that allows us to look at the whole of the year, right? So from the 1st of January to the 31st of December, which means that on the 31st of December you have a time of celebration, because you can tick off all the wonderful things that you had placed on your guide of intent on the 1st of January. Now, this is very different to goal setting, because goal setting is a very mental exercise. But we are a whole person, so there is the physical, the mental, the emotional, and of course the spiritual to be considered. And in goal setting, that is never the case. Goal setting is always about a material outcome of some sort, as where the guide of intent is not like that. We certainly address what we would like to manifest, what we would like to experience in the year to come in our physical life. That is part and parcel of it. But more importantly, it is about what do we want to learn about ourselves emotionally? What do we want to achieve in our emotional self? What do we want to how would we want to grow in our mind, in our mental state? And most importantly, of course, what is our connection to spirit, and how do we want to expand on that and enhance that? So we look at all 4 aspects of ourselves, and it becomes a holistic, not with an H-O, but a W-H-O-L-E, whole. The whole of us is considered, and the whole of us is working as one towards the expansion of the authentic self. It's a wonderful, wonderful guide, and I have been using it now, 30 years. And I would not begin the 1st of January of any year without it. So that is something that I'm looking forward to tomorrow to be able to do. So if you're interested, I have that the process is available in my book, The Secret to Life, and you'll find the link under the description box. So let's just have a look at today. I want to say goodbye to 2018 and hello to 2019. And I look at 2018 from all of my work is about this energy. So what I've noticed, so much of my life, when I first was awakened, rather shockingly awakened, that I had to go on this path. One of the things that I was told then was that 2012 was what I was aiming for. In 2012 there was going to be this amazing surge of energy that was going to take humanity to another state of consciousness. So for me, I just focused on 2012. And of course, not long, I think it was 2010 when one morning I woke up and suddenly in my head was my voice that I get saying, you need to run a retreat on the 21st of the 12th, 2012 in Bali. And I went, I beg your pardon? Anyhow, of course, I followed spirit and synchronicity took over, and I did my first retreat in Ubud in Bali on the 21st of December 2012. And the instructions I got at the time was that I needed to anchor some specific crystals in specific places in Bali, which I did. And just as an aside, the wonderful thing about that is that one of the places that I was guided to go to was a very ancient temple that does no longer exist except for the gates, and no one goes there except we are allowed to because I'm connected. And I established a crystal there, and the the local people priest was so generous of heart and so trusting in me. We don't speak the same language, but he just could feel me at the time. And I asked if that was okay, if I could, I didn't want to upset, their belief, and they were only so grateful. And I then I anchored this crystal, as I was I was told, in the most holy place in this temple ground, which is an old growth forest. It's the most magical place that no tourist ever goes to. So what's happened as a result, and it's interesting to me that I'm talking about it because I actually have no idea what I was going to talk about today, but it's taking me to this beautiful place in this old growth forest. And what's happened since, of course, I've been running retreats in Ubud Bala ever since, and I go back there each year. And last year, was it last year? Well, no, not quite last year. May this year, I went there and I was instructed that I needed to re-energize the crystal because 2019 was going to be such a heightened level of energy that it needed to be enhanced and enriched, and I needed to empower it. So I asked the priest if I could go there, and he said yes, yes, yes. And I went there and I couldn't find the crystal. And I said, where is it? And he goes, it's there. And I'm going, where is it? I had an interpreter, of course. By this time, these people now, I belong to this place. I come in and they just embrace me. It's like I have been rooted into the forest, and I belong to it. And so he said, no, it's buried. It's underneath the holy stone. We have placed it under the holy stone. So together with the holy stone and the crystal, it is, enriching this area, and it is now sacred. So I was so touched. And my guide, he looked at me, he said, Ibu, you are forever connected to this place. And I am. And so I'm so excited because in 2019 I have 2 retreats, and I'll give opportunities for people to come with me to this sacred place that no one ever visits. And it's pure energy of a very heightened experience. So I'm talking to you about that. And as you know, or may not know, I'm completely guided. So I open my mouth and whatever comes out, it comes out. But I'm taken back there because 2019, I don't know if you've noticed, but from 2018, from 2012 to 2017, was very, very challenging. It's very challenging years, okay? So in 2012, there was this amazing surge of energy that came forward. To cleanse the earth of so many limitations. There were so many disasters, there's been the weather disaster, there's been floods, there's been volcanic eruptions, there's been earthquakes, and it's like the earth has gone and really shaken its tail feathers and gone, you know what, we need to get rid of some of this. It's burdening me. Because, Gaia is a living entity, and it's on its own path of expansion and into its new energies place. So 2018 was the first sign that there was some relief, right? So in 2018, the energy, we had 3 main phases of energy surges in 2018 to lift us energetically as a humanity. Now, for those of us who are on this path of conscious awareness, we will be sensitive to that. I'm incredibly sensitive to it. And what that means for me is that I notice the opposite. And I notice people who are still very much attached to the old energies of right, wrong, good, bad, judgment. And when I'm around people like that, I feel the heaviness, and I feel sad for them, and I have great compassion, and I wish that I could just go and touch them a little and bring them up to this new level of conscious awareness, this new level of energy that's available to all of us if only we will, sign up for it. So the retreats, of course, are part and parcel of me taking 10 people at a time to uplift them to this higher level of consciousness. And it is done with the most beautiful Balinese people that have come forward and to support me in doing that, and I'm so forever grateful to them. So if anybody in Bali who works with me, is listening to this, I thank you, Suksamo. I am so grateful. It's one of my, my second place of home. I lived in Indonesia as a child, having been Dutch born, and when I first went back to Bali, my daughter and my son-in-law took me back to Bali, and I had not been in Indonesia or in that sort of environment for a long time. And the moment that I put my feet on the ground, I felt like I'd come home. Not long after that, someone took me to a clairvoyant, a woman from America who works with the American Indian energies, and she looked at me and she said, "Oh, you've come home and you will be here to work." Now the funny thing was that at the time I had no intention, and I said, "Oh, absolutely not. I'm just here, for a quick visit," but it does feel like coming home. So it is kind of, it was in my destiny to go there. How I've come to talk to you about this, I don't know, but I think it has to do with the energy that is coming in 2019. So 2018 has been an energy that has already been lifted for us, but 2019 is now going to be even more. The vibrations are going to be more refined. They're going to, there's going to be a lighter energy available to us. Now I say available to us because if you continue to live in the right or wrong, good, bad judgment life of the third dimension, then you won't even notice it. So for you to be able to access this higher vibration, you do have to actually take yourself there, and you have to find like-minded people. You have to, this is why I continue to do these programs, and I continue to talk to you, because I want to take you all with me to this heightened feeling of well-being and joy, and knowing that everything is always okay, unless we make it not okay. Because we're the only ones that do that, Alright, so 2019 is coming, and it is absolutely, it is just packed with the most amazing energy that will give you the opportunity to grow, to become more enriched, but most importantly for you to remember who you really are, to remember what you came here for, to remember that life itself is the gift. Not all the goodies, not all the things that you buy, not all the chocolates and and whatever you think is important to you. The best car, I love my car, but you know what I mean. I like the comforts of this physical life, but the most important thing is life itself. I woke up this morning, how grateful am I? I have another day to be here, to play, to talk to you, to go out in my garden, to cuddle my cats, and to spend time with my friends this afternoon, and to see in the new year together. And I just, to talk to my beautiful children. I am so blessed. My daughter is coming with my grandchildren in 10 days' time, and I'm over the moon. Life just keeps giving me beautiful things all the time, because I live at a higher vibrational frequency where all that's available. And if I could put that into a syringe, and I could give everybody that as an inoculation instead of all the rubbish they put into people, then humanity would just go woof, and we'd be out of here. What I mean out of here, we would be out of the struggle. We would be out of all, the judgment and the thinking that one person is better than the other, one religion is better than another, one politician is better than another, one person has a better color than the other. I mean, what rubbish do we really think is important in our life? Life is important. You have it. if you're watching me, you're alive, then get down on your knees and say thank you, because that's your gift. Nothing else matters. It is what you do with that gift that matters. It's what you do with that gift that will enrich you, not accumulating a whole lot of stuff. 2019. So this morning I sit down and I have my breakfast and my cup of tea, and I always select a card for myself. I haven't done one today for this session because I was told I didn't need to. But when I selected my card, before I could selected my card, I tuned into my team and my higher self, and this field of consciousness, and asked what 2019 had in store for me. And it's been coming up quite a bit for me lately, and the card that came forward for me was the Crown Chakra card, and it was all about my heightened intuitive awareness, which I've been aware of all through 2018. My intuitive awareness has escalated, and I know in 2019 that is going to continue to be so. My healing energies have been just turned up in amazing things, and it's not something that I've actually been consciously doing at all. I have been working on intuitive life coaching, which I do, of course, but I think in 2019 maybe I'm going to be guided to do some more hands-on healing, which I have done in the past. And the wonderful thing about that is, because I know that whilst I'm alive, I will be guided to do whatever it takes to bring people to the awareness of a higher frequency within themselves. And that is my purpose, and I will be doing that until the day that I am told to leave. And how privileged am I, and how blessed for that to be the case. So what does 2019 hold for you? Well, whatever you want it to hold for you. Sit quietly. Whenever we get to a new year, people make these very clumsy, what do they call them? New Year's resolution. They last about a day. I'm going to give up smoking. I'll just have one more cigarette. Right, okay. I looked at my greatest achievement this year, and I have to say that for the last 15 years or so, I have struggled with my digestive system. As I have been reconfigured to accommodate all this heightened vibrational frequency, my digestion has not been coping at all well. And it has at times made me very, very ill, and it's also made me it's put me in a state of struggle to keep going, to keep doing and living my purpose, and interestingly enough, the moment that I started to do the work, I was perfectly fine. But whilst I was just into my physical everyday life of, getting up, having breakfast, doing the dishes, all of that, I would struggle like crazy. And the minute that then a client would knock on the door, I would just go bang. And I would feel fantastic. I would feel nothing. The minute they left, I would again be struggling. So this has been going on for many, many years. But this year, this 2018, my greatest achievement has been to manifest somebody in my life who has put me on the right path, and I am forever grateful to him. And I have now, today is day 178 that I have been on a completely grain-free, sugar-free, pulse-free diet. And my digestive system is beautiful. I am feeling so healthy. And that I haven't felt for a long, long time. So that's really been my greatest achievement, to have gone cold turkey and to have maintained it, all this time. And I will never go back because my health is really important, because my responsibility is to this vehicle, this physical vehicle. I have to keep it as healthy as possible so that I can continue to allow my soul to express itself through me. And that is my first responsibility, to take care of this, to make sure it is healthy and it's vibrant. And so that's my greatest achievement. So, I really want you to have a look at what is your greatest achievement in 2018, and then and look at the challenges you had, and have compassion for yourself for everything that you have achieved, everything, because if you're here, you're a survivor. You did it. You're here. So that first day of the new year, there is, right around the world, there is this surge of hope. It's this surge of energy. It's like a wave. So start surfing. Take the wave. Surf. But don't fall off. Really sit down and think, well, on the 31st of December, I want to look back and I want to be able to celebrate. Not say, oh dear, I want to get rid of this year. I want a new one. Yes, of course you want a new one. But you celebrate and be grateful for the one that you've just had. And remember that everything, the planning, the intentions, you're only doing it in the now. So if in 2 days' time you suddenly realize that one of the intentions you had you actually don't want to have, scrap it, because we are a work in progress. That's what's wrong with, I use the word. That's why goal setting doesn't work for many people, most people, because it's a mental state, and if you do not reach the goal, you identify that and interpret that as something wrong with you, not good enough, couldn't do it. What about if you didn't really want to do it, or you weren't meant to do it? We're a work in progress. What you think you might want to do right now in this moment, maybe in about half an hour you think, what the hell did I want to do that for? Right? Because we are constantly changing. Life is a changing energy. So why stick it in a box? And if you then can't reach the box, you blame yourself. My goodness, well, that's the most self-defeating attitude. I gave up goal setting a long time ago, and that's when I created something that covered the whole of me. What do I want to achieve next year physically for this physical vehicle? I made a list. And what do I want to achieve and experience and celebrate emotionally, mentally, and spiritually? Well, that is the workshop I'm running tomorrow, and I'm so excited because we also then do a vision board. So by the time you're watching this, it will be too late to roll up for that, but I'm just going to encourage you to think about it anyway. So there are plenty of other things that you can enroll. You can enroll. I've still got some places in the May and retreat. I have some places on a May retreat. I only take 10 people. I've just had 2 people pull out. So if you are interested and you want to enrich yourself and spend 7 days finding and transforming yourself to your authentic self and experiencing things you've never experienced before and will never experience unless you do this retreat, I can promise you. So go to my website. You'll find all the information down below, and also of course my spiritual book club, which we're doing, and there is also the spiritual book club Facebook page that you can become a member of, where I list the books that we're going to read, and you can participate and you can discuss them with me if you want. The other thing, of course, that I'm running this year is another Inspired Manifestation Masterclass, where I teach you all about how this energy works and how to work it. That's a 10-week course. I do it locally though, and I'm going to be doing that in June with and it's a Saturday afternoon. So again, go to my website and find the information there. And then of course there is the private intuitive life coaching, and I can do that remote. I can do that on Skype or personally. So again, you will find the information below. Wow, it is a wonderful day, the last day of 2018. By the time you see this, it'll be 2019. So I'm going to wish you a most wonderful, wonderful 2019. May it bring you health, may it bring you joy, love, and prosperity. But most of all, may it bring you closer to loving yourself. Namaste. I love you. Love yourself more, please. Bye.